Hey, well, hello and good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you choose to listen or watch this here, the Road Boys Sound Off on the Road Boys Sound. Well, back across the pond, it's snowing. We are getting the January snow in January. That's not funny. But yeah, it's beginning to flake and forecast for more until maybe about Sunday. So I guess by the time the game is on tomorrow, I'll be snowed in 7:30 local time right here on the eastern side of Pennsylvania in the United States. Welcome once again. I am the Road Boy DJ Paul, and I'll be taking a quick look at the game against Newcastle Saturday morning. And so, as I look out the window and going through my thought process, I did go through some formations, and I don't think it's an opinion piece. And so I'm almost certain that even with the time off, I don't have any faith in that we're going to see anything tactically different. I hope to be surprised. I want to be surprised with tomorrow. But at the rate that we're going, or the responses to the question, I know managers do hold things close to the vest, but when you have a manager who's telling you that pretty much, hey, this is what it is. And so, if this way, plan A, and plan A is not working, then we're going to continue to hammer in plan A. And so we can't get a sense of exactly how good the players are because, in my opinion, they're being put in a situation where it becomes very difficult for them to perform. And I am one of the guys who are saying that some of that does lead to the kind of injuries that we're seeing. A lot of hamstring and groin, you know, um, cause some overexertion. And this way of playing the speed, high octane, kamikaze, schoolyard, recess kind of thing are not for professionals. I don't think that's sustainable. And one of the things that I look at as well is Premier League players are not in awe of their managers. They want good manager, they want good leadership, and when you are winning and you're doing things behind your name in the league, then your respect will grow, and then you will start to get that aura. But I I, I don't see that with Ange. Unfortunately, I really don't see that with Ange. And when I try to look at games that as a manager, and we're talking 18 games plus 38, that's, 56 games. And let me see, 8 and 2, 10 and 7, 17. So it's actually 55 games. But if you count the Cups and Europa, then it pushes you over into the 50s, with three windows and a 200 and close to 50 million pounds spent, or dollars, whatever it equates to spend. And even at this rate, you can't figure out who your best players are in certain situations. you still don't know if the youngsters that come in are suited for the roles that they're asking to play, because they keep on playing out of position and playing out of necessity rather than playing out of a function of being a part of the squad. Because if you look back at it, the beginning of the year, one would think that you would have minutes cut out for certain players, so that because of the neck breaking style of football that you play, that you'll be able to usher these players in, give them a taste of what the Premier League is like. But it comes down to that these players are playing out of necessity, and they're playing because they are needed badly, and most of it out of position. And we can go through just about all the players. And there's a bad precedent that was set when Spence was never directly behind Porro. And so that's where you start with players being out of position. And as we look at the football that is being played, I'm losing my confidence in Ange. I will honestly say that. I'm losing what I had inside of me for the type of football that I want to see and how he plays the football. And his system is great in terms of the how you want to attack, that you build that in with the players, that look, when we get the ball, the intent is to attack, and we want to attack with vigor, and we want to beat the lights out of the opposition. But what happened when that is not working is where we are right now. And so if we go back and we're looking for a game, well, I am looking for a game, right, to say, this game, the manager actually won that game because of substitutions and tactics. There were substitutions in that, I think it was West Ham and Aston Villa games, and I only have 2 out of 55 games, or maybe 60 something games, that I could actually look at where substitution won us the game, or won us those 2 games. And so I don't have a huge sample to go by to say this is what I really expect from my manager. And managers, believe it or not, have a few games that what they do in managing the team during the game, not just throw them out there and said, go get it. This is the formation we're playing and we're going to play through it. But what they actually do within the team, the changes that are made, the tactics that are applied in game to make a difference to the actual game itself. I think the lack of in-game management has cost us more points than we needed to. And we saw that. We saw that with even the Carabao Cup with Man United. You know, you have a goalkeeper who doesn't actually play with his legs, but the system requires that he plays with his legs. And so while, you want a little bit of, he should have done better and the players in front of him should have known better, it is ingrained. And so those 2 goals against Man United, or for Man United, when we were running away with the game, is bad. And that's Ange in a nutshell, that I am not going to change even though the situation warrants that we change. And you get that and you keep getting that. And so going up against Newcastle tomorrow, as a Spurs fan, you're going to say, yes, you want the win. as a football fan and analyzing what we have seen before, I don't think we have a ghost of a chance. Because as I've done in previous videos, is there's a big cavern between when we win and how we win and when we actually draw and we lose. And that is significant. The wins you're expected if you're a good team. But when you're losing a certain way and you're not trying to correct it, you have a problem, because what's going to happen is that you have 19 other teams who are looking at that. And remember, even though it is 19 games, it's one game for all those other teams. One game. All they need to do is make sure they hold serve and get that 3 points from the outset. And Newcastle did that already because you're playing them for the second time. And so what Newcastle had shown, what Bournemouth have shown, what Wolves have shown, what Ipswich have shown, what Arsenal showed us, right, is that you sit behind the ball and you wait and you wait. And what Forest did, and you wait, because we're coming. And we're coming and we're being exposed as we come. Because after that, there is nothing behind the players. I've suggested that, for pragmatism, was to say, okay, if you want to do that as a manager, go ahead. You do that. You do what you need to do, right? But how about you kind of switch, not necessarily as a formation, but as a shape, play into a back three where you can have three across the back, holding Porro, right? In this case, you hold him in, and then you go three across the back. You still push up, in the midfield, right? But now what you're going to have three across the back, so the balls going over the top won't leave you so vulnerable. I think that's what's cost us Van de Ven, and I'm going to stick by that. I think when you stretch the two fullbacks, you push them up and you leave. So technically we are playing with just two defenders. And so when I hear this argument about we need to go out and get a better number 6, and Bisouma is not good enough, and all the players who try to play at the number 6 position, and I keep hammering this point home, somebody's going to catch it. If your number 6 is supposed to be protecting the back line, my question is, where is the back line that he needs to protect? There's too much for him to do just playing his position, just going up to cut the field. Everyone has abandoned the back line. The two fullbacks are up and the two center backs are stretched open wide. And the midfielders who definitely join the attack are not there. The attacking midfielders are there. So now you have the number 6 who cannot mark 5-6 on the counter-attack. And we have the nerve to say Bisouma is not good enough for Ange's system. Nobody. There is no number 6 out there who will be good enough to play in that kind of system when they have so much area to cover. There are very few center backs that will be able to play in that, and he's injured. And now we have a slow-footed Dragusin is physical, but he's not that quick. Gray is inexperienced. He's only 18 years old, and he's not that quick. And he's going to be going up against Isak coming off, the right side. How much protection are you going to give him? Are you going to start Spence, or you're going to start Reggie? And I'll put my 11 out there. I'm going to keep this short, try to stay under 20 minutes. But That's a problem we're having. I don't see where we're having that defensive shape to offset what we're doing offensively. And to me, right, that is all that Ange brings. And so for all the people who are saying, oh, you're criticizing Ange, but the players are not good enough. And my question is, and I keep asking this as a second question, if the players are not being put in the proper position, if just about your entire back line is playing out of position, you have Spence on the left when he's supposed to be on the right. It doesn't even matter. Don't play him if you have to play him on the left while your center, your left fullback is healthy. Play him on the right and find cover for him for the left fullback on the left. So what happened is that when we have at Archie Gray covering for Porro, now you forcefully now have to put Spence on the left, and that's where the whole thing starts. And you have Johnson at some point who is lost on the left, and to accommodate him, you put him on the left if Son is not in there. And so we have all of this, where we can't nail down a proper team where everyone is in their proper position. If you want to say we don't have a number 6 because you think Bisouma is not a number 6, I can buy that argument. But I don't think you're going to find any number 6 who can hold up in Ange's way of playing. I don't see any. I don't see I just don't see it. Because there's too much of a demand to affect the offense when you're supposed to be more worried about the shape of the defense. The number 6 is supposed to worry about whether or not he's giving the fullbacks enough coverage so that they can get back and get in shape. Worry about whether or not he can slot between the two center backs to protect them, make sure he's a first point of attack. But that's not there because when you look around, you have all 10 in the attack. And so when the fast break starts, we're all 6s and 9s. Nobody know who has who. And so until I start seeing that, and we're almost in the middle of the season, then we're going to be in a world of hurt consistently. And so when I look at it, I am not going to blame the players. I've said that all along. I've said that the manager does not give me the confidence that he's using the players the right way, and therefore I cannot judge them. You can't ask somebody for effort when you exert him so much that, the extra that he wants to give you, he already used it up to try to fit into what you're trying to do. And so you're putting the players at a disadvantage, just for starters. And my critique of Anges doesn't mean I don't support him. I support him 100%. But what I want to see is a little pragmatism in what he's doing. I want to see a little bit of nuances to what is happening on the pitch. And I don't see it. And I cannot, hold my breath on that. That's factual. There is absolutely no pragmatism to what's happening. And I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to